and dogs all over the backyard at the vicarage. It was wonderful. That was just so much fun. And 2 snakes. It was great. So it reminded me that there's a new pet store in town that sells dogs that have religion or that have a denomination, would be a better way of putting it. Dogs with denominations. So you can go get a Catholic dog or a Unity dog. And I was over there, and I was listening to the store owner talk about a Baptist minister and his wife came to get a dog, and of course they wanted a Baptist dog. So they asked the store owner to, well, you know, we want a Baptist dog, and so here's this beautiful golden retriever. And, well, how do I know that this dog is a Baptist? Well, I'll show you. So the pet store owner said, find the Bible. So the dog went to the bookshelf. There's a whole bunch of books there, and, you know, went right past the Quran and the story of the Buddha and pulled down the Bible and brought it over. And then the pet store owner said, find Psalm 23. So the dog, you know, used his doggy paws and found Psalm 23 and pointed. So the Baptist minister and his wife were really excited and took the dog home. And that night they had some friends over to dinner, and they were all excited about their new Baptist dog. And one of the friends said, can this dog do regular tricks? And the Baptist minister said, sure. Sit. And the dog sat, and he said, speak. And the dog gave a little bark. And then he said, heel. And the dog jumped up on the minister with 2 paws, put 1 paw on the minister's head, and started moaning, woo! And the minister and his wife looked at each other and said, he's a Pentecostal. What can I say? It was a great pet blessing. So this is a little bit of a difficult talk to give because when you're talking about your spiritual gifts, which is the title, you know, your spiritual gift, it's really not one size fits all because we are individuals and we are unique. And as you recall, I have been working off of this scripture from 1 Corinthians. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the part that I really like to hammer is that now there are a variety of gifts, but the same Spirit. And to each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. And one of the things about spiritual gifts is that spiritual gifts, at least in this context, is a gift given to an individual to be received by somebody else or the whole of a spiritual community. So your spiritual gift already has somebody waiting to receive your spiritual gift. Your spiritual gift has a community. And it isn't necessarily this community. It could be it is, you know, yes, while you're here, it is this community. It could be your family. It could be your place of work. It could be your motorcycle club. Any of those places is your community and that is waiting for your spiritual gift. The other thing about not making this a one-size-fits-all talk is that in Unity, we are constantly teaching that God is within, and the voice of Spirit is within. And although I heard somebody talking about another church, and she was saying that you're supposed to do everything the pastor says. And I said, why isn't that my church? It's my little joke. And we're not that way. Really, are we? We are not that way. And probably they're not that way either, really. it's you who knows what God is in you. It's you who knows, even in confusion, even when things feel crappy, even when you are fully activated and your ego is raging inside your head, you still know what God's message is for you and how you are to express God. You still know. So the part that does apply universally is how to get to your spiritual gift, or how to activate your spiritual gift, or maybe a better word would be how to be aware of it. How to be aware of what it is that you are here to express. And I like to bring it down to the moment. I really like to. The truth is, we can make plans, and it's very important, and we do make plans. But in the moment is where the rubber meets the road. In the moment is where we live and breathe and have our being and are the Christ, or we are the Buddha, where we are all that is in the universe, in the moment. I have to remind myself of that all the time. Just this morning, I was hurrying, meaning I wasn't in the moment. I thought I had to hurry, and I picked up a candle, and there was a glass plate underneath it, and it broke all over here. And it's like, oh, well, that's just to remind me that not to hurry. And actually, hurrying isn't my first nature. My first nature is to lie on the couch. But I can feel stressed about, I can create a scenario in my head about doing something that I have to hurry for. And then I get out of my consciousness of the present moment, and that's when I drop the glass. You all know what it is like when you are not fully present in your body. That's when we have accidents. That's when I don't know about you, but that is usually when I say the things that I wish I hadn't said. That is when I do the things that I wish I hadn't done, when I'm not fully present in my body. So here is the principle, or the phrase, that I want us all, and myself included, to remember this week. It's get a cue. Not get a clue. That's always good too. Get a cue. We have a nonviolent communication group that meets once a week, and we study principles of nonviolent communication. And one of the lessons that came up was about how to handle something when you are totally activated and you might want to say or do something that you would later regret. Well, get a cue is teaching yourself, it's setting yourself ahead of time with a way to interrupt that habit, the habit of the ego, the habit of just what you ordinarily do. Okay, spirit, when you're fully in touch with spirit, we're not acting out of habit. We're acting in the presence, and we all know the difference. You just know the difference between when you're talking to someone who's just fully engaged in the moment and there for you, or whose mind is spinning, or whatever it is that we're not fully present for. And by the way, this is not a right-wrong thing. I think each and every one of us is brave to take 10 minutes a day to be fully present, right? We're brave to be fully present because we've gone through a lot. We probably have some things, we all have legitimate reasons for avoiding the present moment because we've had some pain. In fact, we probably had pain yesterday. We'll probably have some pain tomorrow. So we have legitimate reasons. It's a human thing it's a natural human instinct to not want to be in the moment. But our spiritual work And our spiritual gift is to be in the moment. So getting a cue, you set yourself up ahead of time. And one of the people in the nonviolent communication class said he has a cue. And I'm just going to share it with you. His cue, when he notices that he's not in the present moment, he might be feeling irritated, or he might want to leave, or he might want to, say, what the heck is going on? So he says, "You're killing me, Smalls." Okay, I know that. I'm happy a couple of you got that. That's from the Sandlot. Is that the movie? Yeah. "You're killing me, Smalls." So he says that in his head. So ever since he said that, I've been trying to get myself a good cue like that. So far, I haven't got one. You can all help me. But because I love adding the humor to it. I entreat my husband all the time. When you see me acting, or when I start saying bad things, will you interrupt me? And he's like, "No way, you're too scary." Wouldn't it be good if somebody could interrupt us? If I had a personal assistant, that's what they would do. They would follow me around. And God bless them, they would have a hard life. But our spiritual gift is to learn to do it ourselves. And a gift that we can all have is we can give ourselves a cue. We can give ourselves a cue. Part of it is you notice that the first clue to when you might need to use your cue is that you might feel something uncomfortable. The fight or flight. You might want to run. If you ever want to run or hit somebody, that's a good clue. You might want to start swearing. I can't believe how out of the blue I'm a normal, loving person driving along in my car, and somebody cuts me off, and I say a bad word. And why should I? It's just such an instant thing. I'm going to love myself in the moment, but that's a clue to that I am not in the moment. It's true. And if you actually take the time, this is a really good exercise. Let's just pick your next innocent outburst, okay? When you have some time, just today. Pick your next innocent outburst when you're not happy. You say something, or you think something, or you want to hit someone or run away. And sit with it. Get yourself some space and actually sit with it. And let yourself feel it, and let yourself just feel what it is you really, seriously, if I'm driving and I want to swear at someone, it's because it's actually touching off a little bit of fear. I might think that, and I might actually want them to consider me. I think it might either be that I really think I need to be somewhere and I'm late, which is a whole nother chain of events about not being in the moment. It might also be that I am actually afraid. If somebody cuts me off, I think I might have hit them or something, then I'm in touch with my fear. So sit with it. Think about what just happened. Really. This, you can use every single thing to get to heaven. Heaven on earth. Every single thing. And use the thing that happens and sit with it and actually allow it to come up and see what it is. What provoked it in you? What is it? And then think to yourself, well, I'm going to give myself a new cue. I'm going to give myself a new cue. When I feel this way, I'm going to say, "You're killing me, Smalls." And that's going to tell my head, I'm out of the moment. I want to be back in alignment with my true self. I want to be available to be present in the moment so that my heart can be wide and open, and I can be present for everybody here so they can receive my gift, and myself, so that I can be present to receive the gift of the Holy Spirit, which is what all of us have available to us at all times, the peace of God. And it seems like we're riding the waves and the peace of God is sometimes here and sometimes not, I know that I am really, really working for a time when I can, be ascended. You will see a glow coming out of me, and I will just be exuding the peace of God no matter what happens. I know it's possible because there are times, well, first of all, I know it's possible because I've been around people who have that deep inner peace of God. It is unshakable. It doesn't mean they don't react. It's not like they're a statue. It doesn't mean they don't react, but there's just this connection to the peace of God that never leaves them. I really want that, and it's why I'm meditating. It's what I do whatever I do when I'm fully present. That's my goal because I know it's possible. Because when it's that way, when I'm hooked up like that, oh my God, the world is so much better. Like, it is so much more fun to wake up with the peace of God and be happy and feel that peace of God, whether it is rainy or sunny. It is so much more joyful to know that I am not at the effect of the world. Because the world is going to, let's see, what does one of my friends say at you? Like, either it's alligators or squirrels biting your ankles, whatever it is. It's like, there's going to be squirrels biting your ankles, and there's going to be alligators chomping at your rear end that you really actually have to sidestep. But if you have that peace of God that's flowing in you and all the time, it doesn't matter if it's squirrels or alligators. You don't care. It works. Now, one of my favorite ministers, Jack Groverlin, who is a Unity of Boulder minister who taught me a lot, used to say, you can use the Bible to interpret the Bible. And I want to say that is a really good idea. Now, of course, we use the Bible. When we interpret the Bible, we're looking through the lens of one presence and one power, God the good in my life. And it's when I wanted to just expand on the spiritual gifts idea, so I wanted to find another part of the Bible that spoke to me. And what's really wonderful is we used to have a concordance, which is a book where you looked up words and you could find things that were in the Bible. Well, now you can just, if you haven't, just try this. You go online. There's a lot of Bibles online where you put in a word and it pops up all of the phrases that you want. If you want to do some research on the Bible and get some inspiration, you can put in a word like gift, or you can put in a word like love and things like that, and you can get some inspiration. It's really nice. So there was a lot of, when I put in gifts, there were a lot of selections, and I settled on Romans 12, and I'm not going to read you all of Romans 12, but I'm going to tell you Romans 12 from 3 to 18 has some excellent ways to be, if you need some advice. Paw through it, like you're the dog, paw through the Bible, and find some inspiration. For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of yourself more highly than you ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. For as in one body we have many members, and not all the members have the same function, so we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually we are members one of another. We have gifts that differ according to the grace given to us. And then there's more listing of the gifts. And I don't want to list the individual gifts, but I want you to, I'm just going to encourage you to go ahead, find some inspiration from the Bible that way. That was Romans 12. You can read the whole Romans 12 if you want, but I was reading from 3. I think I just read through 8. There's a lot of nice listing. There's lots of good advice in the Bible. There's a lot of good advice that you can take. You want to take it the way we take it in Unity, the one presence and the one power, and which is all about oneness. Take it that way. So, what are you going to remember? Anybody want to shout out? Get a Q. Right. That's our assignment. Get a Q. All right. Let's take an offering for Unity. I want you to take your tithe and your love offering and hold it in your hand. And join with